I like this. First blood, baby.
Nice.
You know what I just thought of? Really? No one's gonna...
Waiting
What?
in anticipation.
I was really. Oh, dude, Doughnuts.
Gotta reload.
Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Modern Warfare is a fantastic game with a couple glaring issues, skill-based matchmaking being the biggest one. And yes, I'm going to keep repeating that until it gets fixed. But anyway, in this video, I want to talk about two changes that I believe would completely change the game of Modern Warfare. We need to change dead silence, and we need to make alterations to the minimap. Dead silence needs to be a perk, in my opinion, and here's why. Whenever you are playing Call of Duty is about positioning and awareness, and how you utilize those two things will either be your downfall or be your success. When you are trying to rush and push and sprint around the map and to, in my opinion, flank around the map and be strategic, and again, in my opinion, use the maps as they were so clearly designed to rush forward and go from cover to cover and push the enemy with these amazing routes that you can run in this game. When you can do that, but the enemies hear your footsteps, that really discourages running. That really discourages players from actually doing that. I know this because I play this way. I noticed that when I can hear my own footsteps, I don't push as hard. I don't push, I don't rush, I don't flank, I don't do anything. I wait until I get dead silence. But as soon as I get dead silence, I pop that thing and I am just the super version of me. I am flanking, I'm getting around the enemies, I'm using mind tricks on them, I'm changing my position, I'm pushing forward, and like I said, I'm using the maps in a really creative way, in a really strategic and fun way. And I just want that experience. And I know we have dead silence as the special ability. I know it resets every time you get a kill. I know it's pretty easy to get set up, but here's the deal. Sometimes you're just not in a situation to have dead silence, and whenever you're not in a situation to have dead silence, you are in a bad situation if you are trying to run. Now granted, sometimes you can snipe, sometimes you can use an LMG or an assault rifle and sit back and hold the front lines and sit behind your teammates, and that's all well and good, but if I am using a shotgun and I'm dedicated to rushing and getting close to the enemy, there is never a moment that I don't want to be dead silent. Therefore, I believe it is only fair for the user, for the experience, for dead silence to be a perk. I don't know how viable that is. It would be the best Christmas gift ever if it was a perk and it functioned just like a perk in that third tier slot. I would be the happiest donut ever if that actually happened. But I recognize that that might not happen, so the next best thing would be to make dead silence just like a one kill special ability, to where it's like as soon as you get a kill you can pop the special ability, and make that special ability, buff it until it lasts 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute even, just to make it so that you can push and you can rush and you can take on these guys and you can rush and use these beautiful maps the way they were intended to. Because the state of the game right now, nobody's pushing, nobody's rushing, and I think it's not because the map design per se, even though that sometimes doesn't help. I think a lot of it is fear. A lot of it is, I don't want to go out there and reveal my position. I don't want to sprint around and be heard. I don't want to sprint out there and be seen. Which leads to the next thing, alterations to the minimap, because Infinity Ward might have reservations about making dead silence a perk, especially with Ghost, because you can put on Ghost and dead silence, you can be completely invisible, and that could be really, really detrimental to the enemies and to, well, worse players. But here's the balancing factor. We need to revert the changes to the minimap, and this has been such a small change that's had perhaps the biggest impact on Call of Duty meta that we've ever seen, and that is no hyperbole. This is completely game-changing. If you don't know, currently, if you shoot an unsilenced weapon, you will never show up on a minimap. You will always show up on the compass, but never will you see a red dot on the minimap unless there is a UAV involved. The negative aspect of this is that it increases bad decision making, because when you hear a gunfight go off and you can't quite pinpoint it, and you try to advance on that gunfight and you try to make a move and you don't know exactly where the enemy is, then they can actually get the jump on you. You can expose yourself when you probably shouldn't have. You don't have as much information as you would have in previous Call of Duties in order to be successful, and that's the main issue. You're not given the awareness that we were given in previous installments. And don't get me wrong, there are some players who don't mind that. Obviously, the hardcore and realism players actually kind of thrive on that and really like that immersive stuff. But when you're talking about Call of Duty, just casually, publicly, how it's always been, the minimap has always been about planning out your routes. I've seen a lot of people say that they don't like it when people chase red dots. Well, ironically, this is the game we get when nobody chases red dots. When there's no red dots to chase on the minimap, nobody moves. Combined with the fact that footsteps are so loud that nobody wants to move, nobody really has the motivation to move, nobody moves. And these are the two factors that play with each other that make this Call of Duty feel so slow and so punishing to rushers. It is a negative experience for rushers in this game. If we reverted it to where suppressors concealed you from the minimap and unsilenced weapons always all the time showed you on the minimap, that would be so beneficial for the meta. Here's why. If I'm rushing, if I'm pushing forward with a shotgun or SMG, and somebody gets into a gunfight behind me to the right, they're in a different building, in a different situation, whatever. Currently, all I see is a little red arrow on the compass. That tells me absolutely nothing. They could be directly behind me, they could be a block down the street, they could be in the next, time zone over there. That tells me no information whatsoever, so I cannot accurately strategize on how to take care of that enemy. If I had a mini-map and I saw exactly where that guy was, I saw, oh, he's in the second story up there, so either I'm going to figure out a clever route because the maps are so wonderful, figure out a clever route to get up to him, or no, he's actually got a line of sight on me, so I should probably get out of the way, or no, he's not worth it, or hey, I'm going to wait here until he pops out. There is so much more strategy, there's so much more depth, and there is a higher skill ceiling if we have these red dots on the minimap. And of course, the obvious counter to that is one of the 3 suppressors that you have in the game. It's wonderful, the attachments that you have had in this game. It's so beautiful, and you got 3 suppressors, so you can easily stay off the minimap that way. And Infinity Ward might be thinking, this is a straw man argument, but they might be thinking, well, if you got Ghost and Dead Silence and a suppressor, then that's unfair because you can be stealthy and you can't be detected by anything. And while that's true, you are sacrificing 2 perks and an attachment slot, a very powerful attachment slot, mind you, for that success, for that stealth. You're sacrificing all of the perk 2 abilities, you're sacrificing your kill chain, your hardline, your point streaks, you're sacrificing your perk 3 slot with your tracker, with your extra lethal, with your protection from EMP grenades and flashes and stuns. You are sacrificing so much just to have that stealth ability, just to be that rushing class and that pushing stealth class, that I believe that is a fair risk reward. If these 2 changes are implemented into Modern Warfare, this could be absolutely game changing. This could be so positive for the community. This could be so wonderful that it could change how players play and how players react to this game, because the way they're reacting right now is not positive. And a lot of people think it's the map design, but I personally think it's these 2 designs in particular. And don't worry, we'll get to the map design one day. I absolutely love this game, I adore this game, I'm addicted to this game, but combined with the skill-based matchmaking and the very blatant anti-rusher, anti-skilled thought strategy process that comes into these 2 specific aspects, it's really difficult for me to enjoy and appreciate this game on any sort of high level. If these 2 changes don't make it into the game, you will not see many more Modern Warfare videos from me. But anyway, that's all I have time for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next absolutely beautiful Call of Duty morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, stay beautiful.